I just really want to thank everyone that has, for one, been a guest, everyone that's been listening, watching, sharing, just the feedback that we've been getting. So I thank you. This episode is going to be more of the state of the strength and conditioning industry. Parents and organizations, outsourcing strength and conditioning isn't a luxury anymore. It's a necessity if schools don't provide it. Stop chasing the cheapest options. Discount culture is killing businesses and lowers the standard of athlete development. For business owners, systems, scalability, and value-based pricing are the keys for 2026. What is going on, everybody? This is Coach Vinny, and welcome to episode 10. We have finally made it. This is the final episode of season 1 of the Students of Strength podcast. I just really want to thank everyone that has, for one, been a guest, everyone that's been listening, watching, sharing, just the feedback that we've been getting. Just in 10 episodes, 9 episodes, because this one hasn't even come out yet. It will. So if you're watching this, we've already racked up thousands of views, right? It might not seem a lot compared to the big fishes out there, but we're not trying to be that podcast. You know, this was always something to highlight our amazing town, right? The town of Tracy, California, you know, the town that when I moved here, there was barely 20,000 people. We had 2 high schools. You know, it's always been a small town. There's amazing things that, you know, I've been able to see in my 20 years of just being around here, 25 years I've been around these parts, right? You know, people that have been on this podcast are lifers. They've been born and raised here. They have siblings. They're growing up now. You know, having the gym has allowed us to connect with so many people that I have personally grown up with. Now we're all married. All of those people have kids. They're athletes. They're all growing up, and now we're able to provide something that just wasn't here when we were all growing up. You know, the fact that we can provide access to year-round strength and conditioning, you know, and I can have the Students of Strength podcast because of every single one of you. So I thank you. You know, this episode is going to be more of the state of the strength and conditioning industry, you know, where we're at now, what we're going to look forward to in 2026. If you're an athlete, if you're a coach, if you're a business owner, you run a team, you have an organization, you know, this is the kind of stuff that these little episodes are great for you to just take a little bit of information, find a nugget, right? One little piece, and take that with you and apply that to your everyday life. Every guest we've had throughout season 1 has had an amazing story. I really hope that you've been able to connect with it or learn something that you haven't. You know, taking something from the world of Division I baseball, if you listened to the episode with Kieran Davis, what it takes to win a collegiate softball World Series, if you listen to that amazing episode with Vanessa, learning about the journey from high school to JUCO to D1 to pro baseball with Thomas. That was another great episode. Living with cerebral palsy, you know, that was an amazing episode that we just had with my really close friend Greg Urian. And there's the ones where it's just rapid fire, where I get to talk. You know, people are watching, people are listening. So again, thank you to every single one of you. Season 2 is going to be big, right? Bigger conversations, bigger guests, a much bigger impact. I've already lined up some amazing people that I can't wait to sit down and have those conversations with. Local legends, just some great people that are doing amazing stuff, that have done amazing stuff within the powerlifting world, the weightlifting world, the business side of things, coaching side of stuff, you know, some really cool things. So you got to tune in to really find out. But again, welcome to episode 10. I'm Coach Vinny. I'm the host. I'm the guy here at Altamont Performance Lab. I've been able to put together this podcast because of you. I've been able to put this gym together because of you guys. So thank you. Keep training and keeping strength and conditioning alive. So the topic of episode 10, it's the state of the strength and conditioning industry. I'm in my 20th year of being a coach. I've seen things from the corporate side of things. I've been at some of the biggest companies in the world, working for Nike all of those years, to literally building a business from the ground up. None of it's been done without amazing people in my life, amazing support, who I always thank, and a lot of where we're at within this industry is because of those people, because of who I listen to, because of who I've chosen to have a mentor or in my life. That's been a big thing that I'll touch a little bit more on here. Strength and conditioning, it's in a massive transition period right now, where it's a redefining moment for not just sport coaches, right, but strength and conditioning coaches, athletes, businesses, and organizations. Athletes are getting bigger, faster, stronger. I've seen it firsthand. I was just finished my second year of helping with high school football with one of the programs here in town. It was a rough season, year one, 2 wins, not a single win in league, to setting a standard in the upcoming off season, to getting kids to buy in. It's tough to convince high school kids to lift and want that. But when you start playing teams that are lifting and working on their speed, you can physically tell the difference when you see these kids on the football field, and doing those things allowed a program to get back into a winning record, going from 2 wins to 5 wins in league, which is a tremendous growth, and 3-2 in a very competitive league, and back to playoffs. It's, for me, I look at the extension that we had, 2 more weeks to practice and be with each other. Go from a losing program to a winning program, and you look forward to what's going to come in the coming years. You have to continue building and continuing developing and providing as many of these resources to these kids as you can. For me, I work in the private sector, right? I've created a program from scratch. We've created systems that allow the business to work and operate when I'm not here. The private sector it's booming. And it will only continue to expand. I've learned firsthand, you don't need a big, massive facility, right? Bigger space, it's just gonna be, it's more equipment, right? You gotta be making more money to buy all of that, right? So understanding what business model works for you, our space is great because it can cater to the perfect amount of athletes in every given hour, right? So multiple athletes can be coming in, right? It's a system. I'm not going to get into it, but systems work. Knowing what you're providing to athletes, knowing what you're going up against, what is everybody else doing, right? There's other people that work in the private sector, right? Everybody calls it strength and conditioning, sports performance, right? But anybody can throw those words out, right? What a lot of coaches just self-appoint a title to them, right? Based off a sport you played in high school. I played the bench, right? So, for me, it's with strength and conditioning, it's what are kids doing across town? What aren't they doing? What are their teams providing? What aren't they providing? It's fill the empty buckets, man. If you haven't heard that expression, you're not really into strength and conditioning. It's knowing that people are going to have to outsource good strength and conditioning if they're not getting it from where they should be getting it. The highest level programs all provide it, right? Collegiate programs, junior college programs, there's strength coaches, there's athletic trainers. You have it at the highest level, they're training in season, off season. Eventually it has to trickle down to the lower levels where we accept that at the younger ages, right? Instead of worrying or believing that it's stunting your kids' growth, where it's actually gonna build and develop them, bone density, getting them stronger, they need to get faster, right? Like we have to accept that schools and teams are very inconsistent with quality strength and conditioning, which pushes families to look outward for real development. We can't expect a high school football coach who might also be a history teacher, who's also a full-time parent, and then you expect them to now go from practice to the weight room and put together all of that on top of practice plans and rosters. We wonder why kids suffer, right? Why the best teams are playing right now. Go talk to those teams and those coaches, and how many times a week did you guys hit your weights this week? You're still training this deep into playoffs. You better believe it. You got to still maintain this late in the season, right? It's not going to be every day, but it's understanding that all that stuff that you did back in February, March, that's why you're still able to compete now. It's educating athletes why those things are so important, why it's so important, mom and dad too, right? Just as important as the private lessons and the skill work and all of that, the strength and the speed, it still has to be just as important, right? Don't go spend $400 on a brand new bat and then tell me that gym membership to a quality strength and conditioning facility is too expensive. I'm gonna see through that every day of the week. That's just the truth, right? There's gonna be some trends that I think we're gonna see heading into 2026 with strength and conditioning is, for coaches, specialization and professionalism matter more than ever. Your value is tied to your knowledge, your systems, and your ability to deliver real results. Collaboration, right, always going to be a better option than isolating. And local coaches, we need to work together to elevate the entire athlete community instead of competing with one another, talking down on one another, thinking that this guy or this girl is my competition, right? No, it's like I probably should learn from them, or they should be open to learning. Like, I'm open to anything. I'm not in competition with anybody, but the guy you're seeing sitting here talking, right? I can't live that lifestyle where I think I'm competing with people, right? I didn't invent strength training. I didn't invent speed training, but the systems that I have, right? That stuff, it's been created by me. That's why things work. That's why I can sustain what I'm doing. That's why multiple kids can join this gym every week, right? I've got a flow that it shows me that there's a demand for it, right? So we should all be working together. There should be a network of coaches, right? There's too many high schools in this town. I think there's 5, there's 6. How many of them have strength and conditioning being offered to their athletes, right? And you look at a lot of these schools around us that are powerhouse programs, that are winning, that are going deep into playoffs, that are winning title here, title there. Look at what they're doing throughout the year. I guarantee there's an emphasis on the strength and conditioning where your team probably doesn't do it. You just rely on going to practice. Or maybe you go to the weight room and you just kind of run through the motions. That's on you. That's on coaches. For either you don't care or you just don't know. So you need to find someone who does know. And trust me, there's coaches out there that want to help. There's really good coaches out there that want to help, right? For athletes, year-round exposure to quality strength and conditioning and speed training is now essential. It's not optional. It can't be, I train 2-3 months out of the year and then I go ghost, right? Because my sport started, or I'm doing this, I don't have time for it. Well, your body is gonna eventually just give up, right? Strength will only stick around for so long. Speed's gonna go away even faster, right? You cannot rely on just your sport and your private lessons and doing whatever your sport is continuing to provide you if you're not lifting weights and progressively overloading the body, right? Like creating that stimulus that you get from lifting weights and doing resistance training and proper sprinting and proper acceleration. None of the other stuff matters. You're just gonna probably be okay with whatever talent you have, right? But body, it's never gonna really develop, especially you younger girls and guys. Maybe you haven't even hit puberty yet. Maybe you are, right? There's a window of opportunity, right, to develop. And with everyone with collegiate dreams, college athletes are strong. And the athletes that you're now up against in the portal, which I've been talking about all season of this podcast, they're even stronger than you. Go visit a Division I strength and conditioning program. Watch how they train, watch how they lift. It's amazing. So if you're not getting that at the high school level, think you got 4 years to prepare yourself for that. They want you ready to go as a freshman, or they're just gonna go to the next person, right? Sport coaches trying to do strength and conditioning on the side is hurting athletes more than helping, right? At the highest level, your sport coach, your baseball coach, your football coach, they're not your strength and conditioning coach. The strength coach works and collaborates with that sport coach to create the best plans and programs possible for his or her athletes. It's never the sport coach coming in and creating it. So that's not how it should be at the high school level. I don't care if you disagree with that. You're only doing a disservice to those athletes, right? Show us where the workout came from. I know when I'm creating programming, I know that it's for those kids, for those athletes, for every little thing that's going to need to be helped, developed, right? Knowing that you've got probably 80 to 100 different kids, all different levels, that are probably all gonna be able to do different things, different movements, different limitations. It can't just be, here's what we're gonna do because we've always done it. It's just a terrible mentality. So 2026, we're gonna move away from it, have to move away from it. Parents and organizations, outsourcing strength and conditioning isn't a luxury anymore. It's a necessity if schools don't provide it, right? And thinking that your kid's baseball team, the yellow ladders, the whatever you've seen on Instagram, right? It's just a tiny little thing, right? Kids need to lift weights. Again, it's progressively overloading the body to prepare them for the next phase, the next level, right? Sending your kid to practice and just, they did this for 2 hours, they did this for 3 hours. Okay, what type of strength training did they do? What type of resistance training? What did they have, an acceleration day, max velocity day, run, skip, hop, jump? Did any of that happen, right? Show it to me. We need to do better, right? Stop chasing the cheapest options. Discount culture is killing businesses and lowers the standard of athlete development. If you want to be known as the cheapest place in town, that's the only reason why they're coming to you. And from the business side of thing, you're gonna probably need 2 to 3 times more of those people just to make a little bit of money. Be better. Raise your prices in 2026 and understand that you're worth more as a coach. For business owners, systems, scalability, and value-based pricing are the keys for 2026. The remote coaching market is expanding rapidly. You need to get into it and learn how to work with people no matter where you are. Having a conversation like this is just like providing coaching to somebody. You've got a phone, literally, you got a camera, everybody has it. You can communicate, you can be a remote coach. It's done wonders for me and things like revenue and boosting salary. Adaptive fitness will be one of the biggest growth sectors in the industry. Our gym, Altamont Performance Lab, will be becoming a fully certified adapted fitness center in the new year, something that I really pride myself in working with outside of just the normal strength and conditioning community. There's a lot of people that need the love and the help that we can provide here, and that's great. Here's some just personal updates within our gym, right? Since we're talking about the state of the industry, right? From where we're at right now compared to last year, we've seen a 20% business growth from last year. That's amazing, right? We're doing what we need to do. We're providing high value things to people who appreciate that high value. We're not for everybody. That's okay. I didn't open this facility to train everybody. Rates increase to match value and sustain quality. We've raised rates multiple times. It allows me as a coach to make more money, providing the high level of coaching that we do here. It's allowed us to have part-time coaches that are making the money that they want to be making. Right now, it's about having conversations with your employees and setting them up for success. You know, if this wants to be a lifetime thing, we have the systems in place. If it's a part-time thing where you're just developing a skill, hey, that's what we're here for. That's why we have amazing internships. We've built the internal systems to let the business operate, grow, and scale effectively. I've been able to go on more vacations and trips this year, and we still have the gym functioning. We have 2 amazing assistant strength and conditioning coaches that provide the same level and value that I do. My assistant coach, Mason, he has literally one of the highest closing rates I've ever seen when it comes to doing assessments and bringing people into the gym for a first time. So kudos to him, man. Even Morgana, we rarely have people say no, which is great. That means the people that are receiving our message through the marketing and our social media, just our image, what people are saying about us, it's bringing the right people in, and we're always 100% confident that people are going to join and stay with us. That's why people stay with us for well past 3 months. You know, our average engagement is over 7 months, and we have people that push well over to a year of consistency, if not more. So like I said, we've had plenty of opportunities within the part-time coaching, successful internships. You know, like I said earlier, in 2026, our coaches are going to become certified, and we're going to be offering full adaptive fitness to that amazing community of people. So be on the lookout for that. That's something I'm really excited that we get to do in the upcoming year. Some realities in 2026, especially with youth student athletes. We know kids are playing more sports, but they're training less. It's a dangerous trend. It's got to be consistent. If you're going to dedicate your body to playing sports year round, your body needs to be strong. I don't care what you think or what someone is telling you, even if it's mom and dad. Strength goes away, so does speed. Your body gets older, your body deteriorates. It needs to learn how to recover and repair. The only way that happens is by building muscle, by giving your body the nutrients to even build and repair and know how to sleep, right? That's another dangerous trend. Too many athletes are relying on sport for development over strength and conditioning. Camps and tournaments and club sports highlight weaknesses, but we're not fixing anything. Unless you play for a full-fledged organization that actually has its own weight room and strength and conditioning provided, there's some massive gap in what you're thinking is of development. It's not what it really is. It's the exact opposite. You know, schools are not offering legitimate strength and conditioning. That's leaving athletes with no choice but to get it from somewhere else. And we can't shame athletes for getting it from somewhere else. Again, if your school provides it, your school is always going to be first. You need to realize that. But again, empty buckets need to be filled. And there's always going to be empty buckets in the athlete world. The athlete lifestyle right now, man, it's a problem. Hopefully it's got to change. Coaches, these are conversations we have to have with kids. You know, undereating is still one of the biggest challenges. One of the biggest things that I really took hold of this past season with football was athlete nutrition. Everything that we did pre-game, everything that we did the night before, you know, learning the importance of applesauce and mangoes and electrolytes and windows of opportunity and, you know, what to eat when we're traveling, what I can eat at halftime. You can't tell me those things didn't help athletes. You know who I'm talking to. I'm the applesauce king. Mangoes turned you on to them, right? Inconsistent creatine use, not enough protein, not enough calories. Those are 3 major things that really need to change in 2026. Creatine is an amazing wellness supplement. Protein is your best friend, and so is food. You got to eat. Lack of sleep. We're relying on caffeine, pounding energy drinks before game time. Terrible. Just go to sleep. Put the phone down. Phone down before a game does wonders. Right? Just lock and load. Maybe you could put some music on, put the phone away, right? Read a book, go close your eyes, go stretch. right? Go take more pride in your warm-ups instead of, oh, who's on Instagram right now? Poor habits formed by inconsistent or low quality exposure to real strength and conditioning principles, right? Like what you learn in a good gym, that carries over with you, because high level programs, they really produce high level athletes. Their strength and conditioning is amazing. Their athlete trainers are amazing. You know, the entire athletic department is amazing. The nutrition side of things, the sports psychology, the therapists, the physical therapists. It's such a gigantic world. You can learn so much before you ever get to the big world, right? The future, it's all about being inclusive. There has to be accessibility, and remote coaching is huge for athletes. I've been able to continue connecting with athletes that don't even come here anymore, making relationships with people that still want access to really good coaching and programming. They just work out somewhere else. Everybody should have access to that. I have it, right? I have a mentor, I have a coach, right? So do my mentors, and so do my coaches, right? It shouldn't just be you trying to figure all of this shit out on your own, you know? 2026, it's about getting more special needs athletes, and adaptive fitness will be massive. More remote coaching options to allow athletes everywhere to have access to what you're producing, you know? Every kid, every teen, every adult, regardless of sport or background, should have access to safe and effective strength and conditioning. If we're not doing that, what are we doing, right? It's not about, I only work with baseball players. Then stick to that, right? But it's find some separation. Are you coaching the sport and you're trying to coach the strength, the conditioning, the speed? What's your business model? Is it failing? Are you making any money, right? I'm a strength and conditioning coach. That's my focus. Any sport, any athlete. I don't ever focus on coaching the sport though, but I analyze the heck out of it. You better believe I watch film and I watch tape and I'm studying things, watching how kids are moving, all of those little things, right? You always have to be studying things so you can give some feedback. You know, it's for us on the business side and the value and the professional side of things with the gym, it's our memberships are up, sales are up, you know, opportunities are increasing. Yes, even at 40 years old, I'm still creating opportunities for myself. I'm hoping to help with the track and field program here in town at Tracy High in the upcoming 2026 year, so I can just provide stuff to athletes that just need it. You know, value matters more than discounts. Stop discounting your services just to get people in the door. Invest in the things that actually develop athletes, like quality coaching, nutrition, recovery, and consistency. Coaches, you gotta read more, you gotta learn more, and you need a mentor in 2026. I'll talk to you, I'll help you. Everybody needs to talk to somebody. Anybody can be a mentor and anybody can provide motivation. If you need it, I'm your dude in 2026. I want to get into that. I've been doing this too long to not be helping people. It's more than just helping athletes, it's bigger than sports. We got to prioritize mental health and focus on building better humans, not just better athletes. Coaches, your mental health matters too, right? My mental health has gone so many different places just in the last year, you know, but I've been able to talk more. I've been able to cry a little bit more and open up to people that matter. And it keeps me from going to those dark places that I know a lot of athletes tend to go. You're not alone. Coaches, athletes, parents, no one's ever alone in this fight. Remember that in 2026. Hey, my closing message is, it's been an amazing, incredible season one. If this is what we were able to do in 10 episodes, hey, season 2 is going to be pretty good, really special. I've got some amazing people that I really have been wanting to have conversations with my entire life. Like I said, local legends, powerlifting, big names. For me personally, other coaches, other business owners, other strength coaches, more athletes, more follow-ups with people that maybe you missed on season 1. We're definitely going to have repeat people. You know, it's keep training, keep learning, keep growing. You got to stay strong. You got to stay curious in 2026. And if I've learned anything from Chris Cooper, right, who's probably the biggest mentor for tens of thousands, if not more people, it's you have to have hope, right? Keep helping, and hope will be there. have it going into 2026. Thank you so much for the support that you've shown for the Students of Strength podcast. Hey, I love each and every one of you guys. I don't think I say it enough, but hey, keep crushing it. 2025 is about to end, but 2026, it's just another chance for you to keep writing your own story. You're in control of it. You've got the pen, you've got the paper. Hey, just if you make mistakes, write it with a pencil, because you can always go back and erase stuff. Again, I'm Coach Vinny Pelillo, your host of the Students of Strength podcast. This has been a ride, episode 10, season 1, closing it down. Hey, follow us, subscribe on YouTube. We're on Spotify, everywhere you can find these things. Again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to everybody that's a part of our team at Dig In Media, all of our virtual assistants, all of our guys that do the editing and everything, all these cool videos. Thank you to Chris and Alexis for just giving me this platform. And I promise to you guys, 2026 is going to be a big one. And a big shout out to my amazing wife, Trista Marie. I love you. I do all of this for you and those 3 crazy animals we have at home, furry animals. Love you guys. Closing out on season 1. Be on the lookout for season 2 in the upcoming weeks once we get into December. And thanks again. Happy holidays, and continue crushing everything that is in front of you in this crazy thing we call life.